The restored Philippine Congress. First, the Freedom Constitution. On February 1986, the EDSA People Power Revolution overthrew Marcos' authoritarian regime, and on April 23, 1986, Proclamation 9, which is law governing the Constitutional Commission of 1986, was issued in accordance with Article 5 of the Freedom Constitution, which is the adoption of a new constitution. The Freedom Constitution abolished the Baktasang Pambansa and serves as a temporary guide to Aquino's government until the adoption of a new constitution. It consists of 7 articles. It was like the 1973 Constitution, but without the provisions on the legislature, Article 6, and on those the executive, which is the Article 8. The Constitution was ratified in a plebiscite held in February 1987. Elections for the Congress were held in May and July 27, 1987, and that's when the 8th Congress of the Philippines was formally convened, which is the 1987 Constitution. Structure and membership of Congress. The present Congress is a bicameral body composed of the Senate and the House of the Representatives. According to the 1987 Constitution, the Senate will be composed of 24 members to be elected and will serve for a term of 6 years. The first election for the restored Senate was held in May 1987, and all of the 24 senators served for the full term. In 1992 elections, the 1987 Constitution, Article 18, Section 2, provided that the 12 candidates for senator who got the highest number of votes were to serve for 6 years, and the next 12 senators who got the highest number of votes were to serve for 3 years. And in the House of the Representatives, it is composed of not more than 250 members, and 200 are to be elected from each legislative district. Each legislative district shall comprise contiguous, compact, and adjacent territory. Districts are to be apportioned according to population, and each province will have at least one representative, or each city with a population of 250,000 shall have one representative. According to the Article 6, Section 5, Congress is empowered to make reapportionment of legislative districts within 3 years following the return of every census. The meaning of reapportionment is it is the process redistributing seats in the House of Representatives or other legislative body according to the population in each state. Next is the party list system. It is a new provision on the legislature introduced in 1987 Constitution. It consists of 20% of the 250 members of the House of the Representatives, and 25 seats allocated to the party list will be filled by selection or election from the following: labor, peasant, urban poor, indigenous culture minorities, women, youth, and such other sectors. These sectoral representatives was initially to be appointed by the President until 1995. The Congress enacted Republic 7941. It is an act providing for the election of party list representatives through the party list system. And in the year 1998, the first election of the party list party list system is successfully done. And the term of office of representatives. Each member has a term of 3 years and may be re-elected. However, in 1987 Constitution, it says member of the House shall serve not more than 3 consecutive terms. Qualifications of members of Congress. In Senate, they need to be a natural-born citizen of the Philippines and at least 35 years old. Also resident of the Philippines for not less than 2 years immediately preceding the day of the election. And registered voter. This is according to the 1987 Constitution, Article 6, Section 3. And the qualifications of the House of Representatives are natural-born citizen of the Philippines, at least 25 years old, able to read and write, except for the party list representatives, a registered voter in the district in which he shall be elected, and a resident thereof for a period of not less than 1 year immediately preceding the day of the election. First elections for the Senate in May 1987. Voter elected 24 senators. but actually there were only 23 senators from 1987 to 1992, as one member was appointed by President Aquino to serve in her cabinet as Secretary of Foreign Affairs. There were 2 women and 21 men, while in the House of the Representatives, there were 16 women and 174 men. 190 remained in 1991, and appointment of the 3 representatives to serve in the executive branch, and the resignation of 1 member and the disqualifications of another member. Next is the sectoral representatives of the House. 13 sectoral representatives are appointed by the President in 1987. They were nominated by and represented the 3 members for labor sector, 3 members for farmer or peasant sector, 1 member for fisher folk, and 2 members for youth sector, 1 member for urban poor and veterans, and 2 members for handicap. Privileges of and prohibitions on members of Congress. In Article 6, Section 10 to 11, it says that the salaries of senators and members of the House of Representatives shall be determined by law. No increase in said compensation shall take effect until after the expiration of the full term of all the members of the Senate and the House of the Representatives approving such increase. And in Section 11, a senator or member of the House of Representatives shall, in all offenses punishable by not more than 6 years' imprisonment, be privileged from arrest while the Congress is in session, and no member shall be questioned nor be held liable in any other place for any speech or debate in the Congress or in any committee thereof. And in Article 6, Section 12 to 14, all members of the Senate and the House of Representatives shall, upon assumption of office, make a full disclosure of their financial and business interests. They shall notify the House concerned of a potential conflict of interest that may arise from the filing of a proposed legislation of which they are authors. And in Section 13, no senator or member of the House of Representatives may hold any other office or employment in the government, or any subdivision, agency, or instrumentality thereof, including government-owned or controlled corporations or their subsidiaries, during his term without forfeiting his seat. Neither shall he be appointed to any office which may have been created or the emoluments thereof increased during the term for which he was elected. And on Section 14, no senator or member of the House of the Representatives may personally appear as counsel before any court of justice or before the electoral tribunals or quasi-judicial and other administrative bodies. Neither shall he directly or indirectly be interested financially in any contract with or in any franchise or special privilege granted by the government, or any subdivision, agency, or instrumentality thereof, including any government-owned or controlled corporation, or its subsidiary. During his term of office, he shall not intervene in any matter before any office of the government for his pecuniary benefit or where he may be called upon to act on account of his office. Organization of Congress. Organization of Congress is prescribed in the 1987 Constitution. Each chamber has its own officers. There is bicameral commission on appointments, electoral tribunals, standing ad hoc or special committees in Congress. According to the 1987 Constitution, Article 6, Section 16, provides that the Senate shall elect its President and the House of the Representatives shall elect its Speaker by a majority vote of all its members. The Senate President and the Speaker of the House of the Representatives are the presiding officers and the chief executive of each chamber. Each house shall choose such other officers as it may deem necessary. Besides electing a president, senators elect a Senate President pro tempore who presides over the sessions of the Senate when the Senate President is absent. The members of the majority party elect a majority floor leader, and members of the minority party elect a minority floor leader. And members of the House of the Representatives also select a Speaker pro tempore. and members of the majority and minority parties also elect a House Majority Floor Leader and a House Minority Floor Leader. Each House shall select a secretary